Browns getting ready to face the Steelers on Monday Night Football, Mary Kay. And good news today, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is back after dealing with an illness on Thursday. And honestly, more importantly, Kareem Hunt is back today practicing for the first time in a while with that ankle injury. And he looked like the same energetic Kareem Hunt that we all remember at practice today. So some good news for this football team as they head into what could be their biggest game of this season, depending, of course, what happens on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. I think both of those guys will be so important to this football game. You've got Kareem, as you mentioned, showing so much energy today. He moved around well. He looked good. He is an inspirational leader of this offense. They describe him as running like the Tasmanian devil. We know how he gets up for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So good for them to have him back. And then, as you mentioned, JOK back from an illness. I watched him pretty closely in practice today. He did not look like he's been sick to me. I mean, he looked like his usual explosive and very fast self going through the drills. And I know that the Steelers know that they will have to contend with him.
Now, of course, something else the Steelers will have to contend with is Myles Garrett. And it's been a long storied history with Myles Garrett and Ben Roethlisberger. You know, Myles was saying he wanted to sack Ben before he even took the field. We all remember the paper shredder on that Office spoof that the Browns did on social media. Myles Garrett and Big Ben have sort of been intertwined ever since Myles came into the league. And this is probably going to be the final time that the Browns' star defensive end goes against the Steelers legend.
Yeah, you know what? They really have been intertwined, as you mentioned. And Myles Garrett, we've seen him dapping up and congratulating great quarterbacks this season and in other years. He does appreciate greatness. And you know that he has really enjoyed that back and forth with Big Ben. So in some ways, it's a little sad to see that rivalry come to an end. But Myles even said, you know, it's time to put somebody new in the yard on a tombstone. So it's kind of been fun between the two of them. We'll see what Myles can do in his last game.
Now, a little more from Myles Garrett today, about Jadeveon Clowney. Was asked if he would give a sales pitch to Clowney about coming back to Cleveland. Of course, Clowney here on a one-year deal. He said it hasn't happened yet, but he probably will. And Jadeveon, when we got to talk to him a little bit later, made it sound like he does enjoy being in Cleveland. He enjoys being a part of this organization and around his teammates. But, look, Mary Kay, as we know with a lot of this, sometimes it just comes down to years, money, what players want. But at least right now, it sounds like the Browns have a chance to maybe bring Clowney back.
Yeah, I think they actually have a pretty good chance. I know they will want to do that. I know they will make him an offer to stick around. And as Myles was joking around about, Jadeveon likes the warmth. He likes to be by water and things like that. But, there is something to be said for loving the environment that you're in terms of the coaches and the players around you. And most of all, the ability to win football games and have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. That means a lot to these guys. I watched Jadeveon a lot, very closely in practice. He has fit in very well. And I think there's a good chance he'll be back.
Of course, Jadeveon turning 29 in February. So probably still some years left in that body for him. And look, Jadeveon, there is water in Cleveland and it's warm a good chunk of the football season. Okay, let's give us one thing to watch here as the Browns head to Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football.
Well, Dan, as you know, two of the Pittsburgh Steelers defenders went on COVID-19 reserve today in Joe Schobert and Chris Wormley, who had a very nice game in the first meeting against the Browns. So they already had the 32nd ranked run defense heading into this game. So I just think with seeing Kareem out there practicing and knowing what Nick Chubb can do, that's what I will be watching. How can the Browns attack that 32nd ranked run defense and keep the ball away from Big Ben?
Yeah, and for me, it's going to be, I guess, the obvious here. It's you didn't take him. Normally, you do take the obvious one. I'll take the obvious one. Baker Mayfield. Alex Van Pelt did admit to us today that harness has been affecting Baker Mayfield, certainly, and his mechanics as he's gone through this season. But the reality is this is kind of a moment for Baker Mayfield. Joe Burrow is going to have his moment on Sunday and try to capitalize on that. If he doesn't, then Baker is going to have a chance to have his moment over these next two games. And it'll be very interesting to see how Baker responds kind of in that spotlight on Monday Night Football, coming off of what had to be the worst game of his NFL career. Okay, there we go. Browns and Steelers Monday night. We'll cover it all at cleveland.com/Browns.